I'm Justin, and this is Pisces Printing. Today is going to be a little bit different than the normal inside 3D printing. There will be 3D printing, but we're going to be 3D printing a piece for my truck behind us here. So we'll be sticking speaker related as far as the video goes, but it'll be a little bit bigger of a speaker. So I built a subwoofer box for my truck about 6-7 years ago, and I stretched vinyl up over the box, kind of up around the subwoofer, and tucked it in beside the subwoofer, and just the heat of the sun in the vehicle over the last half a decade has slowly unstretched the vinyl. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of test out a 3D scanner, see if we could actually scan what I have, use that to create a workable mesh inside of a CAD program, and then from there design a cover to go around the subwoofer, and then subtract the mesh from it so we have a perfect fit. So I'll show you the speaker box that we're going to be working with, and then we'll get to scanning it. And yeah, then we'll probably jump onto the computer, go to a CAD, and then I might time lapse it, I don't know, depends on how long it'll be, but I'll show you the workflow that I'm going to go through to get this from a mesh scan into an actual workable solid inside of any kind of CAD program. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for this video. So okay, so here we are at the speaker box. I'll get a light put up in here so we can actually see what we're doing. But there's the speaker box. As you can see around the edges right here, it started to actually pull away from the sub. It was just held down in there with friction, and over time the heat from the sun has just allowed it to kind of pull away. So I'll be building a shroud to kind of come around here like this, and just kind of maybe round over. And then I'm thinking I'm going to locate it, probably with the holes here. I'm going to have to build this in 4 pieces, because I don't have a large enough printer to do this in one piece. That's kind of a goal for the future, is to get this in one piece. But I think that it should work to just do this in 4 pieces, kind of split right here and right there. So each one will have 2 holes to locate off of, and then split in the middle. And then I'm thinking about printing maybe a cover over the split to make it look like it was intentional to have it just there, so you don't see a seam and you'll just see maybe like a clip over piece or something. So that's the plan. But we will get to the computer and get started on this scan. So After the scan, I tend to move to Mesh Mixer and I clean up the mesh a little bit, you can see me kind of orientating it here a little bit. I'm getting rid of all the extra bodies, and now I'm cutting the, I'm plane cutting it to where I have just the usable mesh that I want. Kind of getting rid of some polys, making it kind of more CAD friendly, because a lot of parametric CAD software doesn't like a ton of triangles. So now moving to Fusion 360, I'm creating a plane here that I can actually start to work on, and then I'm projecting the mesh surface onto that construction plane, and it's going to create a sketch that I can then go in and make some circles off of. That's what I'm doing right now. So this is kind of the reverse engineering of the scan, where I'm actually creating a body to use inside the 3D modeling software. Giving it some radiuses, kind of making sure that everything's where I want it. Getting ready to do the locating pins now. I'm kind of trying to find two good scan points of the locating pins, so that way I can get them, and then I'll do a pattern around there to get all the others, since the scan data wasn't perfect. Now making the pegs that are going to be the locators, which we now know those aren't going to work out. You can see the ring here. I'm getting ready to convert this into a solid now. I'm going to convert the mesh into a solid. I'm remeshing it, and now it's going to be a very large faced solid, but I did that so that way I could cut the ring with the mesh body, and that'll give me the negative space that I need underneath. You'll see that in just a second here. So that's the actual cutout that I needed to get that to come up nice and tight against the weird organic shapes that I had from that fiberglass box. I'm just now connecting all the pegs to the ring, going through, kind of cleaning up some things, getting rid of some extra bodies that kind of found its way in. Yeah, getting the locator pin set. Now I'm getting ready to split the thing 4 ways. I'm centering off of the 2 top locator pins, cutting it 4 ways. I'm getting ready to now run a sweep with this profile right here. I'm going to sweep along that profile right there. And it creates this body, and then I'm going to use that body to cut after I do a pattern on it of 360 pattern with 4 spots. I'll use that to cut, and then after it's cut, I'll have my spot open for these to sit in. You can see the start of these gap fill pieces. I'm getting ready to start making the outside body for them, and then I'll just do another sweep along that path, and now another pattern, and kind of finalizing things, making the holes in the ring a little bit bigger, giving everything some nice fillets. Gonna get ready to do some more cuts on these pieces to make sure that they fit the body appropriately here. As you can see, I kind of cut away on that one. And here's just a render, so we can kind of see just what it looks like. Adding the material so I can get the right color on here, so that way I could kind of finalize this before I actually printed it. And now we'll head over to a printing time lapse. Okay, so about a week now has passed. I got the pieces printed. I just did a kind of a test fit here just to make sure things were going to work. I ran into some issues where some of the pegs had actually fell off of the thing. I guess it just under extruded there for some reason. I don't really know why. But that's okay, because it gives me an opportunity to just put magnets in here instead, to where this is easily removable, and it's not so much a friction fit where it's more of a magnetic fit. So that'll work out pretty good. Also, on the top pieces here, the 3D scan data wasn't quite perfect, So I did have to sand away some of the top here to get these to fit down in. I couldn't get the scanner to actually come back in and scan through here. So, unfortunately, I couldn't get that as perfect as I wanted, but everything else seems to line up and fit really good. So, what I'm gonna do is get this kind of seated where I want it, and then I have some CA glue here that we're going to use to kind of fit these together and kind of hold them in place. So I'll probably start right down here, and I'll get these two butted up together where I want them, and we'll just go around. So yeah, so there'll be a time lapse here of me kind of just dinking around, screwing around, kind of figuring this out, and getting it where it needs to be. And then we'll I'll probably go and finish this, sand it, maybe paint it. I haven't quite decided yet. And then I'll put the 4 cover pieces on. So that's kind of the plan for right now. Okay, and now we have a ring. So I will probably glue this over on the bench real quick. I'll bring you guys over there. Finish gluing this, and then we will probably sand this and paint it. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put a little extra CA glue on these joints, just to make sure that they're sealed properly. Grind the final fitment pieces to go into these to get them to fit properly, but that won't be a big deal. So this should only take about 30 seconds to set up, and then I'll get after it with probably some 600 on a DA, and then I'll maybe move to some 1200 and then paint it. So while we're waiting for the filler primer to dry, I figured I would just take this time to clean up these pieces that are going to go into the ring. So there'll be another little time lapse here of me just cleaning this up. got this all primed. I just let it cure overnight. So I'll wet sand this down with 600. I might have to do another coat of sandable primer, but that's okay. I'll get this sanded. Right now I've currently got the standoffs that all broke off. I've currently got them printing. I'll finish breaking the other 3 off here. And then I will just, I'll use some CA glue to attach them in the truck. I've got magnets for the bottom of them too, so yeah. I'll finish wet sanding this and we'll maybe paint it. .600 grit. Okay, so I got that wet sanded for time number 1. I still see a little bit of dips and divots and some of the top surface coming through on that. So I'll probably do one more coat of sandable primer, and I'll probably let that cure overnight, and I'll come out and probably try getting this again tomorrow. So. Okay, so I guess real quick I just want to point out kind of something that I use to kind of figure out what needs work still and what doesn't. And it's just something I picked up doing a lot of like auto body repair. So we'll zoom in here kind of on this, and I'll see if I can get it to show up here. So, and then see if that'll focus. Then if we spray this with water, and if we get it to catch the light just right, so we can see there's a little tiny defect right there, because it doesn't let you can see the reflection of the lights in there. You can see that it kind of shifts right there, which gives us a an indication that it's still got a low spot in there, or a high spot around some low spots that still needs work. So that's kind of what I use. So, the ring's all done now. I'm going to probably put the top coat on it now. It's not perfect, but, I mean, this wasn't an injection molded part or anything, so there's going to be some imperfections, and, I mean, it's going to get beat up in the truck, being a center console anyways, so I'm not terribly concerned about making it some, like, show quality piece. I mean, if there's a little ding on an edge, or a little tiny ding in the top of this or something, that's not going to bother me too much, because it is just going into my daily driver. So if this was a show car, I would take a lot more time on this. I probably would have started with body filler first and filled in all the little tiny things, and then I would have sanded that out, and then I probably would have got a high build, like 2-part primer, and I probably would have sprayed it with that. Probably 3 to 4 coats of a high build primer, and then I probably would have sanded this with 320, 400, somewhere in there, and then seen how it looked with maybe some guide coat or something, kind of fill out any low spots, high spots, anything like that. And I would have continued that process until I had a part that was pretty much a show quality part. So that's kind of where we're at now. So I'll put the top coat on here. It's kind of raining outside, so I don't know that I can get a camera at a good place to actually catch me doing that. So the next time you see this, it might just be painted. So yeah. Okay, so got this spray painted. There's a little bit of imperfections left, but like I said, it's not a huge deal. It's going inside my daily driver, so it's going to get beat up and banged up and probably nicks here and there, so I'm not hugely concerned about it, and if I need, I can pull it back out and refinish it later. But now I've got to take and we've got to grind just a little bit of a lip off of this because of the CA glue inside this. It actually took up some of the tolerance, so now I just gotta take about probably a 1/16 of an inch off the little edges right there. So we'll do that real quick, and then we'll glue these down, and then we'll glue these to the bottom, and it should be finished. So we'll get to that. So we will now take this over to the truck. The CA glue set up on those. So we'll go over to the truck and get this mounted up in there. Okay, unfortunately, only about 3 of these actually stuck. I just don't think that there was enough clearance there to actually get them, because this doesn't exactly sit down flat. But I think I'm going to run it for now. I think 3 should be enough to align it, so I'll run it this way, and it should work out. I did actually end up clocking it a little off, which is kind of whatever. I mean, it's not going to bother me too bad, so yeah, but this is how it ends up, so but all in all, I mean, I don't think it looks too bad, so it's a lot better than it was, so I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I guess the only thing now is to see how it performs with a little bit of music going through it. So, future me here. So while editing, I noticed that there's going to be just some really quick, rapid scenes coming up, and I just wanted to let you know that the first one is just a short play, and it's just so I can avoid a copyright strike is why it's so quick. And then the next 2 are going to be side shots, so I can show you how well the scan actually matched the organic curvatures of my speaker box. Alright, well, that probably sums up this project. It's been a fun little deviation from the standard that I do. Kind of in the same realm, still audio related, but I actually printed something for a speaker that I didn't make. So that's always fun. First time actually joining multiple 3D prints into one like solid 3D print. So there's some things to be learned about that. I need to work better on my tolerances because it didn't quite want to go together and I kind of forced it. And now it's a little on the tight side getting on and off, but I suppose that's okay. I'm kind of upset that it didn't get quite clocked perfect either, but it's, again, something that I'll just deal with, or I might change it down the road, but for the time being it'll be what it'll be. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this project as much as I did. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Helps me know what you guys like, what you guys don't like. Yeah, thanks for watching.